Senate Bill 8, which aims to restrict bathroom access based on the biological sex of the user, will take effect starting later this week. We'll discuss this and more of today's top stories. I'm Ernie Manous.
And I'm Celeste Diaz-Sherman. We'll also talk with John Floyd, National Board Member of the Council on American-Islamic Relations, who will discuss their decision to sue Governor Abbott over his move to designate CAIR as a terrorist organization.
And I'm Frank Billingsley. Plus, we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts, questions, or comments? Give us a call or text us at 713-440-8870 or email us at talk@hellohouston.org.
You can also watch us live on YouTube by going to houstonpublicmedia.org.
Hello Houston is made possible in part by founding sponsors John Bradshaw and Kathy Sanders, and by gifts from listeners like you.
Live from NPR News, I'm Lakshmi Singh. This hour, President Trump is speaking with members of his cabinet as his administration faces congressional scrutiny over the legality of military strikes on Caribbean Sea vessels it suspects of drug trafficking. Bipartisan calls for an investigation are mounting after the Washington Post reported that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth allegedly ordered the military to kill anyone who survived a September 2nd strike on a suspected drug trafficking boat. NPR's Danielle Kurtzleben reports Democratic Senator Mark Kelly, a retired naval officer, was asked yesterday for his reaction.
When a reporter asked him about the strikes, Kelly said if the reporting is accurate, that second strike could have been illegal.
I will say, though, as somebody who has sunk 2 ships myself, folks in the military need to understand the law of the sea, the Geneva Conventions, what the law says.
And leaders of the Senate and House Armed Services Committees have said they're going to be looking into these strikes. And Admiral Bradley is expected to give a classified briefing on Thursday.
NPR's Danielle Kurtzleben reporting. Kelly was among a group of congressional Democrats with either military or intelligence backgrounds who recently told service members in a video they are obligated not to follow illegal orders. President Trump called the lawmakers traitors. High-level talks are on tap today in Moscow, where President Trump's special envoy is expected to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Steve Witkoff and Putin will be discussing the latest U.S. proposal for ending Russia's war with Ukraine. NPR's Charles Maine says Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, is also on the trip to Moscow.
This is the 6th time Witkoff has met in person with Putin since President Trump tasked him with resolving the Ukraine crisis back in January. This time, the billionaire businessman turned presidential envoy comes bearing a new draft peace plan, one initially criticized for being overly favorable to Russia and since revised with input from Ukraine and its European allies. It remains unclear whether Putin will accept those changes. In comments last week, Putin said he remained open to the U.S. proposal in theory, but the Kremlin leader also conditioned any lasting peace on Ukraine withdrawing from territory claimed but not controlled by Moscow, despite more than 3 years of heavy fighting. Charles Maines, NPR News, Moscow.
AI now touches the lives of many people, and NPR's Barbara Sprunt reports a nonprofit hopes to harness the power of AI.
It's been 35 years since a new independent candidate won a House seat, but the Independence Center wants to change that. The nonprofit is using AI to find congressional districts where voters are fed up with both parties. Strategists say they've identified 40 districts like that where independents could break through. The center plans on backing about a dozen candidates in the midterms next year, and with the extremely narrow balance of power in the House, just a handful of independents could prevent either party from getting a majority.
It's NPR.
Live from News 88.7 in Houston, I'm Alexandra Hart. Early voting is now underway for the special election runoff to fill a vacant seat on the Houston City Council. Voters can cast their early ballots for Dwight Boykins or Alejandra Salinas until 7 p.m. next Tuesday. Some voters will also see a runoff election for a Houston City College trustee position on their ballots. The runoff election is slated for Saturday, December 13th. Harris County is offering debris cleanup services for Houston area residents impacted by last week's tornadoes. News 88.7's Michael Adkison has more on what you need to know.
If you live in one of the Spring or Cypress neighborhoods hit by 2 tornadoes last week, debris can be picked up straight from your home. That includes vegetative debris, construction debris, damaged home appliances, and electronics. Otherwise, Harris County is hosting free tornado debris drop-off services all week long. From 2 to 6 p.m. on weekdays and from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. this weekend, residents can bring their debris to Deputy Darren Goforth Park in Cypress or Kissing Tree Park in Spring. Harris County Commissioner Tom Ramsey represents the area, and he says this has brought the community together.
It just speaks to the communities that we serve, that not only do they work with us so well, but with each other.
Ramsey said a total of 217 homes and buildings were damaged from the storm, 13 of which were severely damaged. I'm Michael Atkinson, News 88.7.
When the federal government shutdown ended last month, legislation made its way through Congress that included an effective ban on hemp-derived products containing THC. If this has affected your family, positively or negatively, we want to hear from you. Go to houstonpublicmedia.org/newstips and share your thoughts with us. Your message could be used in a news story as we continue coverage on this issue. Mostly sunny today, 46 degrees right now here on the University of Houston campus. We'll hit a high near 56 degrees today. No rain is in the forecast. However, those rain chances do increase throughout the week. Warmer tomorrow with a high of 68 before another cold front blows through later on in the day. I'm Alexandra Hart, News 88.7.
Support for NPR comes from NPR stations. Other contributors include Fisher Investments. Fisher's dedicated team of specialists provide resources on investing, retirement income, estate planning, and more. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Live from the University of Houston, it's Hello Houston, an open forum on today's biggest stories affecting Houston and beyond. Call now, 713-440-8870, or let us know your thoughts on today's topics by emailing us at talk@hellohouston.org. Now here's your host for Hello Houston, Ernie Manous, Celeste Diaz-Sherman, and Frank Billingsley.
Well, hello.
Happy Giving Tuesday.
Happy Giving
Well, we're all
Tuesday.
here. It should be Thursday, not Tuesday.
Oh,
Right? Is that a dad joke?
Dad joke.
And
Frank.
for those of you who are wondering what the
Coming
show
in
is
hot.
going to be like today, there
Coming in
you
hot.
have it.
It's Giving Tuesday. I'm giving you my best.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
I know. Wish I had another joke, but I don't.
You don't. You know what, though? Yesterday, a lot of us were busy. Yesterday was World AIDS Day. I got to MC one of the events that happened here in town. It's always a difficult day because on some level, you want to celebrate how far we've come in the battle against HIV and AIDS. And on the other side of it, though, you also want to remember and recognize those we have lost to it, and we want to look at how much more there still needs to happen around that. And so it's always weird. Are you celebratory? Are you more reflective? And it's kind of an interesting way to pull it all together in a day.
think more and more today we are learning how to hold space for both.
Yeah. Holding space. That's a good term.
And I think that you can do both. I think that you could recognize the importance of the sciences behind it and how far we've come, and also recognize, like you said, there's still a lot more to do, and also honor those who have passed.
And I bring that up just because yesterday's show, we didn't mention that it was World AIDS Day, so I wanted to make sure we mention that so people realize it's still out there. It's still something we need to pay attention to, and get tested. That's always my best advice on that.
I lost so many friends.
I know. It's funny. You hear people talk about it, and you forget, especially back in our generations, how many people, it was kind of I don't want to say rite of passage, but moments went and you lost people and big numbers of people. And now we're in a time where there's medications and there's things in developed nations to protect.
There are long-term survivors from the 80s.
Yeah.
Because they made it to the mid-90s where the drugs improved and their T cells came up, and so they're still alive today. And good for them. Yeah, it's just, if anything, I think the gay population, when we had COVID, was much more relaxed and pragmatic about the whole thing. We'd been through a pandemic of our own, and when that happened, we said, okay, let's figure out a vaccine or a cure. The vaccine came. We all said, okay, let's take it. It wasn't like this, oh, you're trying to vaccine me against my will. We would have given our left arm for a vaccine in 1987. I mean, anything just to get public recognition was so difficult.
Yeah.
And so,
and today, what they were talking about at the event that I was at yesterday at the Deluxe Theater that was Legacy was doing, is that the community most affected today in our country is African American women, women of color, and it far outweighs their percentage in the population, and
which comes down to education.
Education,
gay men started
resources.
Education back in the 80s.
Yeah.
It's interesting, though, because when you talk about, recognition, from what I understand, I wasn't in that group or part of that during that time, but that the conversations, from what I understand, I've had friends who are older that have said, nobody talked about it and they were just gone. A friend would go and you didn't know, their family members didn't talk about it.
Yeah, I think maybe outside of the community.
Yeah,
people
outside of
didn't
the
talk
community.
About it.
Yeah.
President Reagan didn't talk about it until Rock Hudson died.
Yeah.
And then he finally said the word AIDS, and he finally put a name to it. And so we could concentrate on what this is and maybe how to fix it. Yeah. And it's not fixed, but there has been, as you said, tremendous progress.
Yeah. Anyway, I didn't mean to bring the mood to a somber note so quickly.
It's just realistic. It's the world we live in.
Another thing that was realistic was Celeste and her family were decorating the family tree.
I just saw that. Wow.
We did.
That's
Always a
as
point of
We did it.
stress in our house.
It was very stressful, especially when you have a very excited 4-year-old who's going to be a 5-year-old on Thursday.
All right.
But
we have to start the countdown for another Sherman birthday.
Well, we broke a couple of nice ornaments, and that was a little bit stressful. And, and then, of course, I had all this mom guilt because I got upset, and Philip was just very excited, and I was just very annoyed. And anyway.
Really quickly, I don't mean to not get to our topics, but how do you find the balance in that when something is wrong and you want to correct it and you're angry because something happened, but you're also thinking you don't want to admonish because you don't want to cripple the spirit of the child? And where do you find the balance?
Well, you don't, right? You lose it. And then I think that my generation, as millennials, we've learned is I think the balance comes from apologizing afterwards and saying, buddy, I know you were excited. I'm sorry I didn't handle. Accidents happen.
How about
kind of thing.
I apologize for having breakable ornaments around a 4-year-old. Is there any responsibility on your part here?
I told him not to go. I said, hold on, we're not going to go through that box yet because I also have the container that I know are the more expensive ones, and we have the ones where the kids can play with and things. And he opened the one I wasn't. I tell you what, parenting is one of the hardest things. I am thinking of my fellow
during the holidays, especially.
During the holidays.
Quick little FYI tip here: metallic balloons. Buy them at like the dollar store or wherever. Blow them up. They make balls. Put them into the tree. They look like big ornaments in your tree, and those and they're not going to break on you. And if they pop, just blow up another one.
That's a great idea.
I saw that online.
Smart.
Anyway,
or have a kid's tree and an adult tree.
Or just don't have kids.
You can have the kid's tree and you can have the adult tree.
Yeah.
We've got a lot coming up on today's show. We're going to be talking about Meals on Wheels. We're going to be talking about bail reform. It's Giving Tuesday, so we're going to be talking about that as well. But the world goes on and the news continues to roll in. Celeste, what do you have for us today?
Yes. Starting on Thursday, Texas will implement Senate Bill 8, also known as the Texas Women's Privacy Act, or more commonly known as a bathroom bill, aimed at restricting transgender people's access to certain restrooms in the state. Republicans in Texas worked for more than a decade to pass a bathroom bill like SB 8. The new law applies sex-based restrictions on those restrooms and changing rooms in public buildings, schools, and universities. It also implements restrictions in prison housing as well as family violence shelters. SB 8 does not include any specific guidance for institutions on how to enforce its restrictions on restrooms, except that they must take every reasonable step to ensure people are using facilities matching their sex assigned at birth. Individuals who use public facilities that do not match their sex assigned at birth are not penalized by SB 8. Instead, the institution that owns the facility where a violation occurred can be fined and sued for each instance. Any institution found liable for a violation is fined $25,000 for the first instance, and then $125,000 per day for every subsequent violation. Those who are in the facility and affected by any agency's failure to enforce the law can also sue them for declaratory and injunctive relief. What are your thoughts? Are you happy the bathroom bill is finally in place, put into action, or do you think it is discriminatory? Now is the time to join us on Hello Houston, 713-440-8870.
It's just not practical. Liability, if an institution is found liable. So okay, somehow a transgender person got into the bathroom they shouldn't have been in. And now how do you say to this institution, did you know that? And they say,
how do you police it?
How do you prove liability? Yeah. So you knew they were going in there. Who knows who's going into the bathroom? Somehow they were reported by another person. This transgender person was in the bathroom stall next to me, and you should be in trouble for it. Well, I didn't know that they were going in there, so I'm not liable.
Yeah.
I put a sign on the door. You must have the assigned sex to go into this bathroom. I did that part. Where does liability even occur?
I think Ernie used the right word, policing, or who's going to police it?
How do you police it?
That to me is the concern. It puts it makes people start to feel like they are in a place where they can start policing the bathrooms and going. And I think it's important to recognize that 0.4% of a population are Texas people that believe or say that they are transgender is less than 0.4% in the state of Texas. 0.4%, less than 0.4%.
Well, it's negligible. It is all posturing for political reasons.
And it's called the Texas Women's Privacy Act. So I think, okay, elected leaders, y'all are looking out for women, yet Texas ranks among the lowest for women's health care. In fact, Texas is 50th overall out of 51 states when it comes to health care for women.
Right. But we want to protect you by not letting a transgender person in the bathroom with you.
Which
let's
are
face it,
less than 0.4%.
It's the straight rapist who's going to dress up as a woman to try to get into your bathroom. That's the fear. That's the one that would be in trouble. Do you know what they ought to do? You know what people ought to do? People ought to dress up in transgender and start going into these government buildings and going to the bathroom. And look how $125,000 per day. Let's go down to the Harris County Courthouse and get $125,000 per day fines going and see how fast that adds up to about $6 million and see where we are then.
Well, Frank is busy.
Because the people who do it are not going to be fined. They're not in trouble. So if you dress in women's clothes and that's not transsexual, that's transgender. Mm-hmm. You dress in women's clothes and go into the women's bathroom and you get caught, and you even tell them I'm going in as a transgender person, and you go in. And now they're going to be fined $125,000 a day.
Well,
this would stop real quick.
There is the separation between transvestitism and transgender individuals, first of all, but also the Williams Institute says in a 2025 report, there's no evidence that allowing transgender people to use the restrooms that match their gender identity jeopardizes safety and practice for cisgender people. That's people that live their life in the sex assigned at birth. Indeed, multiple studies find the opposite. Transgender individuals are disproportionately more likely to be the victims of harassment, denial of access, and verbal abuse, and even physical 100%. Assault when using public restrooms.
And that was what I was talking about. It becomes dangerous of the policing of it. Right. The other thing is often people think about men dressing who are transitioning to becoming women. I have been in a bathroom where there was a woman transitioning to be a man. Mm-hmm. And that was more shocking to me.
How do you explain that to your 9-year-old girl?
Right. And I remember walking in and it looked like a man. I mean, it was a man. Sure. It was a man. And I was shocked. And I was like in my mind thinking, what is this man doing in here? And then they were very kind and they nodded. And I was like, okay.
Well, I used to use this example. If people are familiar with Chaz Bono, Cher's son now was originally Chastity. Her daughter looks like almost a bit like a longshoreman. He's kind of beefy and bearded and all of that. According to this law, like you're saying, he should be going into the female restroom. And actress Candace Cain, who looks very much like a supermodel, should be going into the men's room, which is going to cause more confusion and upset and disruption. Those two individuals going into their birth bathrooms or going into the ones they identify.
Listen, I've said this before. You're at Minute Maid Park for an Astros game.
Right.
And you're dressed as a transgender woman. and you have to go into the men's bathroom, which is kind of an open, if you're a woman, you've never been in there, but it's just like 40 urinals in a row. There's no privacy. It's urinal, 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 urinal. Everybody just stands there, goes to the bathroom. It's like camp. And so you go in there to go to the bathroom, and a transgender, beautiful, model-looking woman comes in, and you're there with your 10-year-old boy, and he's looking at her saying, Daddy, why does this woman have a penis? And why is this woman going to the bathroom next to me with a penis? I mean, this creates so many stupid things in life.
And I don't want us to come across sounding like it only matters when people are extremely passable in the opposite sex. These are rights for individuals.
Correct.
Wherever you are on the journey, it should be respected and understood as much as others can understand.
And how would you feel if you... Well, how would you feel if they said, okay, no gay people are allowed in the bathroom while straight men are in there. So if you identify as gay, we don't want you in the bathroom if they're straight. And there's a light, okay? They turn on the light. If the red light is on, no gay people can go in because there are straight people in here. How would you feel?
Yeah, I think...
Answer me. How would you feel?
Well, any kind of segregation, any kind of discrimination is disturbing, is wrong, is not who we are as a people. And so, yes.
I think that
it's problematic.
What is problematic
would you
that
make people
our
feel
elected
bad?
Officials are so concerned about 0.4%. And I'm going back to that because I think it is so important to understand. Yet the maternal mortality rate has dropped nationally in our country, but it has risen substantially in the state of Texas. Women take up 50.1% of the population.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What are we doing for women in maternal health rates?
Nothing.
The argument...
We're trying
Making it more
and more to
dangerous.
restrict it. We're trying to control women's health and women's bodies.
The rate of sepsis shot up more than 50% for women hospitalized when they lost their pregnancies in the second trimester.
Yeah.
And we're more worried about
But we are
them.
concerned about less
at
than
the end
0.4%.
of the day, it is a political talking point, and they feel it gathers support, and it's a game they're playing with individuals' lives, and it's wrong. There's I don't usually give a solid opinion, but there you
Hot
go.
take.
This is wrong. There's more important things we should be worried about.
Healthcare in our state.
Yes,
is
and
concerned.
talking of all of that, things we should be worried about. Early voting is going on for Harris County City Council at-large position for runoff and also for the Harris Community College Trustee District 2 races. These early votes will continue on through December 9th, and December 13th is actually Election Day. So when you get upset about all of these things, go out and vote. That's the best way you can make changes. That's the power we have as individuals. So voting's going on right now.
As long as they don't redistrict us and we don't have any power.
Well, we still have it for the city council race, so get out there and vote.
Coming up on Hello Houston, board member of the Council on American-Islamic Relations, John Floyd, will join us to discuss their decision to sue Governor Abbott over his move to designate CAIR as a terrorist organization. This is News 88.7. Stay with us.
Listen up. How much time do you need if I tell you this right now? It's Giving Tuesday. Right now, your gift supports our local shows like Houston Matter with Craig Cohen or Hello Houston with Celeste, Ernie, and Frank. And Frank is here with me right now, and he wants to tell you about the great reasons why you should give right now.
Well, it's all about giving. We're planning to really have a big Giving Tuesday to bring you shows like we have right now. Hello Houston, Houston Matters, Inside Politics. All of the shows that we do here on public radio are supported by you. Your generous contribution right now supports more local, national, and international news for Greater Houston. So we're honoring Giving Tuesday. Now's the perfect time to get in on the celebration early. Start making positive change in your community now. Houston Public Media's news highlights important issues. We uncover critical stories that lead to a more unified community. And on this show, we listen to you. We invite your opinion, your call-ins, your YouTube comments, your emails, your texts. It is really Hello Houston. It is a talk show designed to bring our community together. And I don't know of any other like it in the entire city, and there are very few across the country. And I know that there are other stations that are trying to figure out how to do exactly what we're doing because it's valuable and it matters to the community. But we need your support to continue to do it.
You can donate right now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887. A great reason to give right now is that if you can give, you can get us closer to our $25,000 goal. And we need 100 gifts to get there. So it's all up to you right now. Remember, you turn to Houston Public Media when you need information, but it's only possible because you stand up and support this station. So make your donation right now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887. Remember, we're on a mission to get this goal of 100 gifts. If you can do that and help us out right now, we would be much appreciative. houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
Houston Public Media brings you unbiased news like no other on this Giving Tuesday. Be part of it. Donate to Houston Public Media right now. Advance our community's conversations about transgender bathrooms or the lack thereof, about CAIR that we're going to be talking about here shortly. Today is all about giving. 888-909-0887 or houstonpublicmedia.org/donate.
I'm Jesse Thorne.
Hi, I'm Lenny Ambrose from St. Arnold Brewing Company, proud supporters of Houston Public Media. Right now, with your $60 donation, you can choose tickets to News and Brews. This member-exclusive event takes place February 17th. Enjoy a pint, connect with fellow NPR fans, and meet the Houston Public Media newsroom in person. Select News and Brews tickets when you donate at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate.
Revelations from well-known actors like Zach Galifianakis on the story behind his last name.
It's actually shortened, Terry. My real last name is Galifianakisberg. That's an exclusive for your show.
Fresh Air, bringing you some of the biggest names in American culture and some of the most difficult to pronounce. Join us.
Fresh Air, weekdays at 8 p.m. on News 88.7.
I want to make a movie about this.
The Arts Hour brings you film,
The themes in it are so far ahead of their time.
books,
The detail is amazing.
art,
There's all the personal stuff.
theatre,
Lots of singing and dancing and colours.
music,
The dance floor is made for dancing.
and everything in between.
I want it to be exciting.
That's the Arts Hour with me, Nikki Beatty.
I really identified with it.
From the BBC.
The Arts Hour, Friday nights at 9 on News 88.7. Houston Public Media presents The Moth Story Slam, tonight at Lambert Hall. Doors open at 7 p.m. The theme of the night is Family Matters. Tell a story about your family. Tickets at houstonpublicmedia.org/The Moth.
Tonight on Houston Public Media TV8, join host Michael Keaton for Mr. Rogers, It's You I Like. Then at 8:30, go behind the scenes with filmmaker Ken Burns for the making of the series The National Parks. Tonight on TV8.
And now back to Hello Houston. To comment on any of today's topics, call 713-440-8870 or email us at talk@hellohouston.org. Now back to Ernie Manous, Celeste Diaz-Sherman, and Frank Billingsley.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott recent proclamation declaring Council on American-Islamic Relations, known as CAIR, and Muslim Brotherhood as foreign terrorist and transnational criminal organizations has ignited a fierce legal and political battle. The designation bans CAIR from acquiring land in Texas and exposes the group to heightened state enforcement. Now CAIR has filed a federal lawsuit challenging the move as unconstitutional and defamatory, arguing that the governor overstepped his authority and threatened civil rights and free speech protections. Joining us now to unpack the stakes for CAIR, for the Muslim community in Texas, and for civil rights law in America is CAIR board member John Floyd. John, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me. It's good to see all of you.
If you'd like to join the conversation, please give us a call or text 713-440-8870.
Mr. Floyd, the governor's proclamation, it alleges CAIR has, quote, repeatedly employed, affiliated with, and supported individuals promoting terrorism-related activities, unquote. Is this true?
It is not true. It's factually inaccurate. There's just no basis in fact whatsoever. In fact, listening to the previous segment, it really just kind of ties into what we were talking about earlier. This is political hate speech, fear-mongering, trying to gin up the base, and this is red meat, unfortunately.
And I guess that is essentially my next question. Yeah. I mean, why would the governor use such extreme words to describe a nonprofit organization? He also says the proclamation refers to CAIR as a, quote, successor organization to the Muslim Brotherhood. Talk to us about why you think that the governor is so directly going after you all, and very harshly.
Yeah, well, I can tell you that for the past 20 years, the far right and now the Christian nationalist movement has been attacking the Muslim community throughout the country, using it to stir up their base and get them out to vote. And it's really filtered down to the local community. And now the governors and our state representatives, they're all basically just copying and pasting this hate rhetoric that's been ginned up by hate groups. There's a couple of them in Texas that have been very active in the Republican Party. They met with the governor just prior to this proclamation at a big hate rally up in North Texas. And basically, he's just taken what they've given him and issued a proclamation out of it. And so it's very disappointing. The governor is a smart man. He knows better. But to gin up hate against the black and brown community, the LGBTQ communities, the Muslim community, whatever target he can take down to make him more aligned with the president, it seems like, because he's coming up for re-election, he seems to do, and he's putting people in the community in danger. I'm really fearful about what this is going to do. We're getting hate calls at the office, at CAIR's office. I'm getting hate calls at my private law firm office, and it's all because this governor is using fear and hate to try to gin up his base.
John, give me the nuts and bolts on CAIR.
Right.
Is it like LULAC? I know what groups do. I know what the Girl Scouts do. They sell cookies and they go camping, right?
Yeah.
So what does CAIR do?
So CAIR is, people are familiar with ACLU. It's a similar kind of model. It is the largest Muslim civil rights and advocacy organization in the country. It's been in operation for over 30 years. We have chapters in 25 states. We have 3 chapters in Texas alone, in Houston, in DFW, and in Austin. And we educate the community. We get out and advocate for political change. We take students to the Capitol Day on a Muslim Capitol Day. And we also, kind of our bread and butter is the civil rights work. We have people who call in almost every day who are being discriminated against either at the job or at school or by law enforcement. And we advocate for those people and make sure their civil rights are protected. We've had to sue the governor in Texas. This will be the 4th time that we've sued him because of unconstitutional and illegal action on part of the state of Texas to demonize the Muslim community.
Let's look into the lawsuit a little bit. Your lawsuit argues that the proclamation violates First Amendment and property rights protections.
Yes.
So can you walk us through the constitutional arguments that you're raising and why you believe this must be upheld?
Well, we think this proclamation needs to be overturned. It is unconstitutional on several different premises. We've raised 4 different grounds in the lawsuit, but primarily just to escape all the legalese. The governor is using his power under this proclamation to gin up hate against the Muslim community, and he's doing it against CAIR because CAIR has become a target for these hate groups.
But we can not like something someone's doing, but when you have a lawsuit, there is a legal basis for what he has done wrong.
Yes.
What are you saying in your lawsuit he has done wrong?
So primarily, so it makes sense, is that he has made this proclamation without any type of evidence gathering, without any hearing, without any due process. And he's issued this unconstitutional proclamation with kind of bleeding into some of the second prong of the lawsuit in order to chill freedom of expression, freedom of religion, freedom of association. We're already having donors and board members wanting out of the organization. And so he is using his bully pulpit to try to infringe on the Muslim community and this organization's civil rights.
So is CAIR a small organization that sort of looks after the larger organization, or is CAIR a huge population?
So CAIR has 25 chapters around the country.
Uh-huh.
So it has a national organization in Washington, D.C. We have a very large presence in California. That is the biggest chapter in the country. So it has hundreds of staff and volunteers around the country, I think over 500 at last count. And so primarily
And then does it have members? So you would have a staff, and then you would have a population of 40,000 people belong to CAIR.
Yeah. It is not a membership organization.
Okay, it's not.
No,
I just wanted to be clear.
No.
Because the fear that I'm hearing from the Republicans is that the more Muslims that come into Texas, the larger the population grows, the more voting power they have. This is the same of black people or brown people. The larger the numbers, the more voting power they have. And so there seems to be this white Christian nationalist group that doesn't really want any other group to have power.
Yes.
Is that what this is about?
In my opinion, that's exactly what this is about. We have seen this exact language that was cited earlier used in proclamations in Florida, and proclamations at our state house. And when we had our last Muslim Capital Day, we had a proclamation that had the same language, disinviting the Muslim community for attending the Capitol to get out. And we were basically teaching students how to approach their leaders and how to advocate for policy. Not only that, we had a hate group showed up, and they greeted us with a severed pig's head. We had a candidate from North Texas who came out who rushed the stage and started yelling obscenities at the students that were there and about the religion. And this has just become really a boiling point for this community based on just fear and rhetoric. And I think you're right. You're spot on. There is, at last count, the estimates were there were about 500,000 Muslims in the state of Texas. We think that there's probably about 500,000 Muslims just in this region of the state now.
Do they vote in block?
No.
No. So it's just like, well, I mean, we saw a lot of split in the Latino community. A lot of Latinos voted Republican. A lot have voted Democrat. So there's no rhyme or reason. But so Muslims, they vote for who they feel is best representing them.
Traditionally, the Muslims who came here initially were, the professionals that were coming from other countries. And so they tended to vote Republican because of the family values issues and the tax issues, right? That's changed since now we have a second generation of Muslims, third generation of Muslims who are much more, liberal and get out and vote. I mean, they supported Bernie Sanders in high numbers. And so I think there is, the discussion you were having earlier is right on point. I think anything that threatens, what we're calling white culture. I mean, that's what they're talking about when they say you give us our culture back or you're taking away our culture. They're really focused on traditional 1940s and 50s white culture, and that's what they're afraid of.
And so in Governor Abbott's press release specifically announcing the proclamation, it said, quote, "The Muslim Brotherhood and CAIR have long made their goals clear to forcibly impose Sharia law and establish Islam's mastership of the world."
Yes.
What do you say to that?
It's nonsense. Again, it's unfortunate, but the governor is a smart man. He knows better than this. There is absolutely no connection between the Muslim Brotherhood and CAIR whatsoever. There never has been. CAIR is a local, American-based 501c3.
So there's no funding coming from
absolutely not.
Outside of the U.S. that is funneling money to you all to then impose certain ideologies.
No, this is just part of the hate-based rhetoric that people are spinning up, trying to demonize this organization, and by inference to demonize the community. Right? I mean, this is really a wink towards all Muslims are somehow controlled by foreign power or controlled by Sharia law. None of that is true. I mean, the Muslims that come to this country come here for a reason, right? They come to have freedom to be able to, to sincerely, practice their religious beliefs, but they're just like everyone else in the community. You see about 85% of the Muslims that are in this community are not regular masjid, mosque goers. They're just like anyone else. They show up for the holidays just like most of the Christians do, right? So it's nonsense and it's dangerous.
So if the governor's approach is that there is this tie between your organization and global terrorism, is the argument to show that that doesn't exist, or is that, regardless, that doesn't matter to the lawsuit? The lawsuit is about the freedom of speech and the right to assemble. How do you attack this correctly?
So the legal basis is a constitutional argument, but the reality is this is in fact, we're excited about the governor's proclamation because this gives us an opportunity to air out all this nonsense. So we can kill two birds with one stone, right? We can hit him again. This will be, assuming we win this lawsuit, this will be the fourth lawsuit we've won against the governor for unconstitutional either legislation or proclamations. But it also allows us to get out and it show to the community in court, number one, where the governor's getting his information from. We know where he's getting it from. He's getting it from these hate-based groups. He claims that he's getting it from the GOP. I mean, none of those are investigative agencies, right? So we really want to air that out. And at the same time, we shouldn't have to do it. We shouldn't be apologizing for something we've not done. But at the same time, force them to show the community that there's no connection between any outside organizations and CAIR or the Muslim community at all. Because they're doing the same thing in North Texas with the Epic housing development. Yep. It's like you try to build a housing development, all of a sudden you're terrorists, right? You try to have a soup kitchen, and all of a sudden you're terrorists.
Or your voters. And I think that's what they're afraid of.
And this is not just happening in Texas. Other Republican officials have repeatedly called for this group to be investigated. Senator Tom Cotton, a Republican out of Arkansas, and Republican Elise Stefanik, a Republican out of New York, has asked the Treasury Department to probe the organization's funding sources. We often talk about rhetoric and how it's dangerous. As somebody who is on the other end of this, can you give us an example of something that you have seen? Do you see upticks in, like you mentioned, you guys are getting more calls. Talk to us about that.
So I guess initially, after October 7th and the tragedy that was, the response in this country was to immediately demonize the Muslim community that was here. There was a large social media attack on the Muslim community, citing unfounded things about our doctors and our lawyers. And in Houston, we represented clients here who were getting doxxed online. Their employers were being contacted saying that they were terrorists just because they were Muslims. And so that has been a steady uptick ever since then. We had over 8,000 complaints nationwide last year, and we're on par right now to exceed that. As far as the governors and what he's doing, I mean, we're immediately getting people, stalking the offices, people who are calling in with death threats, who are harassing people in the community, and it's causing a lot of fear, right? Because CAIR inside the Muslim community is relied upon to be the person you call when you need help, when you are being discriminated against.
So not just terrorism, which I don't even know how to define that. In this case, but Minneapolis is a major city allowing the Adhan, which is the Muslim call to prayer. They have speakers throughout Minneapolis. They have the speakers 5 times a day calling Muslims to prayer. Now imagine Houston having speakers all over the city 5 times a day calling Muslims to prayer. Right. Do you think Houstonians would be comfortable with that? And is that part of what this is about?
Well, I think it goes to that the fear of the unknown.
Right.
Right. We hear church bells, right? I hear church bells every day somewhere. That doesn't cause fear or people to react a certain way.
And we give the impression that the Muslims are taking over. They have their own sirens now.
Yeah, that's right, which is nonsense. I mean, if you look at Minneapolis, for example, I mean, the Muslim population there is still rather, I mean, it's large and it's dense for where it's located, but it's still a majority white community. I mean, they're not taking over. This is just rhetoric. It was like when he was talking about them eating dogs, right? When the president was talking about people eating dogs. This is all just rhetoric to spook people. I mean, Sharia law taking over in Texas is nonsense. I mean, we have rule of law here. We have courts. It's like saying the 10 Commandments or your Catholic laws or your Jewish laws are taking over Texas. I mean, this is something that people do in their personal lives. according to their personal beliefs, and no one's imposing anything on anyone.
Yes or no? You think you're going to win?
Yeah, we'll win.
Okay.
John Floyd is a board member of the Council on American-Islamic Relations. John, thank you for joining us today on Hello
Thank you all for
Houston.
having me. It was, while we're here, I just do want to make a plug. I'm a member of Houston Media, and today's Giving Tuesday, so please consider giving.
Yes.
And to think about CAIR as well, because we need your help.
We like to give people like you a platform.
Thank you, John.
Thank you all.
Coming up on Hello Houston, we're going to continue talking about Giving Tuesday. Stay with us.
Hey.
We're just 80 gifts away from unlocking $25,000 for Houston Public Media, but it only happens when we reach that goal. And your donation to Houston Public Media right now supports stories like those you just heard. Your gift is also one of the most tangible ways to help your community. And now is the time to give. Just go to houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
Your gift will mean more trusted news in 2026. And a great reason to give right now is that there is $25,000 on the line. We need 80 more gifts for the hour to get us there, and it's all up to you.
The size of the gift doesn't matter. What matters right now is that you make that donation to get us closer to unlocking $25,000. And the good news is we have a new Studio Society member from Houston. Give now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887. 0887.
We have a lot of different phone numbers.
We have a lot of different phone
today.
numbers.
I'm Frank Billingsley. What's important to you? Trustworthy, independent journalism? That's what you get every day at Houston Public Media. Step forward right now because you're being called to make a difference in Greater Houston and for this station. Please give now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call us 888-909-0887.
And we have donations coming in. Thank you to Elizabeth from California, Caroline from Brenham, Patricia from Missouri City, and from Houston. Oh, and another Celeste from Houston. Shout out to my fellow Celeste. Rachel from Sugar Land, Peter from Katy. You too can make that list. Please give now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
And I'm Ernie Manous. Every gift right now matters. It all adds up, keeping this station strong. Donations go directly to pay Houston Public Media's expenses, which include the newsroom that reports local stories, the trusted programs you count on, and the infrastructure that keeps us on air.
Regardless of the amount you give, your support makes this station accessible to our entire community. Make your gift right now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
Remember, this station is built on gifts of all sizes. Some people give once, other gives monthly, but every single gift matters. What's important is that you give, especially now that our station is completely funded by who? By you.
Your donation helps fund the journalism, storytelling, and programming that you rely on. And we use every dollar wisely to serve you and the greater Houston community. So please make your gift right now. HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate or call us 888-909-0887. Today is Giving Tuesday. We want you to be a part of it, and thank you very much.
You can't tackle life's big... We know you value Houston Public Media. That's why you're watching right now. So take the next step and become a new member of the station you rely on. Every gift makes a difference. And what matters most right now is supporting the station that brings you the news and information you rely on. It only takes a minute to make a big difference. So join as a new member today at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 800-364-8300.
This month on extending the ACA subsidies set to expire at year's end. But healthcare costs were already rising fast and could spike even more if Congress doesn't act. Families, hospitals, and state budgets would all feel the strain. The impact on our physical and financial health. Next time on 1A.
You can listen to 1A coming up today at 2 o'clock.
Hi, I'm Manoush Zamarodi, and our world is changing so fast. On the TED Radio Hour, we invite innovators, researchers, and activists to unpack those changes with us.
Just about all companies are becoming technology companies or technology-enabled companies.
Listen to the TED Radio Hour from NPR every week for conversations that will deepen your understanding of our changing world.
The TED Radio Hour, Tuesdays at 9 p.m. on News 88.7.
Support comes from Discovery Green Conservancy and H-Town Holiday Lights by H-Town Frankie, a light display set to music and inspired by Houston's hip-hop culture, presented by PNC. More information at discoverygreen.com. Support comes from Texas Mutual Insurance Company, a workers' compensation provider dedicated to supporting the state's businesses through safety-focused policyholder plans and annual programs. More at texasmutual.com/TXM Advantage.
And now back to Hello Houston. Call now, 713-440-8870, or email us at talk@hellohouston.org to get your comment in on today's topics. Here's Ernie Manous, Celeste Diaz-Sherman, and Frank Billingsley.
As you have already heard, today is Giving Tuesday, global movement for generosity, and it's intended to unleash the power of people and organizations that work every day to transform their communities and the world. And joining us now is Houston Public Media's Associate Vice President and General Manager, Josh Adams.
Thanks,
Welcome.
guys. I'm really excited to be here talking about the great work we're doing.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about what a Giving Tuesday means to an organization like Houston Public Media.
Yeah, so for us, raising money, as everybody know, it was a tough summer, rescission, but that's all in the past. We're headed forward. We are a strong organization. We're financially strong. We're positioned well to continue serving this community, so we're headed forward. That means we are raising 100% of the money we use to operate out of this community, 100% of it. That is a 24/7, 365-day-a-year job, and so we raise so we can support this great community.
But Josh, as you mentioned, this summer was tough. And I think a lot of people now think, oh, everything's great. I mean, we went through some tough periods here at Houston Public Media, and I think a lot of nonprofits are feeling that squeeze. Talk to us a little bit about when funding actually comes in, where is it really going? I mean, it goes to us.
It goes to operate this organization. So, there's a big spectrum, right? We are a $16.5 million annual expenses, and that $16.5 million is everything from salaries and benefits for you guys and me to these the microphones into which we're talking, to the back-end infrastructure. It pays our content fees to NPR and PBS. Some of it is licensing. We have lawyers. We have bank accounts. We have administrative fees. We pay for electricity. All of the things we do to serve the community come out of that money. So every single dollar we raise, we're raising it with purpose and with intent.
Well, I think an interesting point, too, that you bring up, that people often think we raise the money to pay our bills, which, yes, we do. But we also raise the money to plan for the future. Yeah. And the perfect example of that was when the pandemic hit, because beforehand we had planned for something like that, and everyone had the ability to broadcast from other locations. So when other organizations felt the squeeze and couldn't be there for the community, Houston Public Media never missed a beat because of the planning. That's what your support helps do, too.
That's what the money supports. Yeah, you're exactly right. When I think a little bit about people have asked, well, what's going to happen? What's going to happen is that we're going to continue to serve the community. We've pivoted our business. Yeah. That's old news. We are now a new business that is a $16.5 million business, and we're positioned correctly to thrive. And that's salaries, benefits, electricity, marketing, travel, infrastructure, maintenance, all the things it takes to be incredible in the community. We're going to continue to be that for Houston, and gifts like the ones that we're raising today through Giving Tuesday are a key piece of that.
I just want to remind folks, as we have this conversation, if you are so moved, please visit houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887. And I hear now we only need 50 gifts to get to that 100 gifts we were trying to get to.
Listen, you guys are on the air for another 67 minutes.
Uh-oh, you're going to give us a goal?
I think we can do it. I'm feeling it. I think it could come in.
Here's a crazy question, and I don't think it'll happen in Texas anytime soon, but have any state legislatures stepped up to try to fill the financial gap that the federal government took away from public radio?
Yeah, funding for public media is very regional. It's the beautiful thing about public media. You're locally owned. We are the last locally owned media station in Houston. Everybody else is owned by either hedge funds, by big national groups. And so each region really does have sort of unique policies and support at the regional, state, and federal level specific to what they're doing. And by federal, I mean there could be money out there for things like infrastructure, right? Our tower, our transmitter, our fiber supports EAS. And so in the future, there could be a world where that might come back. I'm not betting on it, but it could happen. And just like the content we produce, it's got a unique flair for Texas. The content that gets produced in New England is different from the content that gets produced in California. And that electorate puts people in office that support those community ideas.
It's interesting you bring up the emergency alert system, which the FCC requires us to run whenever there is one.
Right.
But yet the federal government took away our money. So how does that square that they've taken away our money and yet they're requiring us to do certain things?
Yeah, look, if I could look into a crystal ball and have answers for how policy and law sometimes react to the realities of a circumstance, I think I'd have all the answers. Here's what I do know, and here's what I can control: how this organization is run so that it has the best possible outcome for this community. Mm-hmm. That's all I can control. And one of those things that are within my task are EAS alerts.
Sure.
How we manage them, how we test them, how we practice them, how we prepare for them. It makes the community safer. So whether they've taken our money away or not, that's something we need to be doing for the community, and that's part of our mission.
Well, it's like we invite people from all parties, some of which were instrumental in taking away our money, but we yet invite them and give them a platform to express their opinions.
I've said this before in news meetings. I've said it before in all staff meetings. I've said it on the air, and I'll say it once again. Our job is to serve this entire community, 100% of the community, whether you are of a certain religion, a certain gender, a certain race, whether you're on a certain side of the aisle, whether you're from Texas, you moved to Texas, whatever it is, we need to be here to serve you. And that means when we talk about being fair and balanced, we talk about being accurate, that means we've got to take in all those perspectives and go, okay, here's the story. Here's what one side is saying. And here's what we know about what the other side might say. Go find those people and find out what they're thinking. And then we bring it to folks and we let them choose with all the information. That's our mission. That's where we continue to have the greatest impact.
Over this past year, we've had a lot of changes here, not just when we talk about finances. We switched leadership, and now it's the Adams era. I'm curious how you redefine the mission of who we are as an organization and what this organization should represent with you at the helm.
Well, look, perhaps what I thought about where we were headed is now very different given the summer we had with our money going away. The reality is our strategic goals are still the same. We're here to serve the community. We want to be financially strong. We've got a commitment to our brand. We want to get better every day. We want to have impact in the community. Like, those things don't change. I choose to look at the tough summer as opportunity. And the opportunity is for me to absolutely tell this organization and this community, here's where we're headed. Maybe it would have taken a little more time, or maybe we would have had it's the first 6 months, let me get my feet under me. 45 days, here we go. This is where we're headed. Yeah. And that can be opportunity if you look at it that way. I mean, you guys, we're doing great things. We're on the air with this show. Houston Matters is now on the air with video. We're talking about launching new shows. We're talking about investment and how we distribute this content. We've got some exciting things coming up in the new year with regard to digital distribution that I'm excited to share with our audience. I'm very bullish on public media, and that's because we have a great team and support from the community that matters.
Well, your support will make all of that happen. HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate, 888-909-0887.
Joshua Adams is Houston Public Media's Associate Vice President and General Manager. Josh, thank you for joining us today on Hello Houston.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for all you're doing. Don't forget to give.
That's right. Take the opportunity. Coming up on Hello Houston, we're going to be diving into today's top stories. We're going to also be speaking with Texas Jail Project about the passage of Proposition 3. Stay with us for the second hour of Hello Houston.
Stay tuned. There's more Hello Houston on the way with Ernie Manous, Celestia Sherman, and Frank Billingsley. For the latest in local news, subscribe to the Hello Houston daily newsletter at houstonpublicmedia.org. Hello Houston is a production of Houston Public Media. The opinions expressed by the guests of this program are solely their own and do not represent the views of management, staff, or underwriters of Houston Public Media. This is News 88.7.
Support comes from Stages, presenting It's a Wonderful Life, a live radio play set in a 1940s radio station with live sound effects and on-stage storytelling that celebrates connection and hope. Now through December 28th. More at stageshouston.com.
Really nice day, lots of sunshine. We'll get up to around 55. Mostly clear tonight, a low near 43. Right now it's 48. This is your NPR station, KUHF. Houston News 88.7, a service of the University of Houston. It's 12 o'clock.
Just ahead on this hour of Hello Houston, Houston Mayor John Whitmire could lose the endorsement of the Harris County Democratic Party if precinct chairs approve an admonishment resolution. We'll discuss this and more as we continue diving into today's top stories. I'm Frank Billingsley.
And I'm Celestia Sherman. We'll also break down how Proposition 3 may shape jail populations across the state with Krish Gundu, co-founder and executive director of the Texas Jail Project.
And I'm Ernie Manous. We'll also learn about I Am Houston's Meals on Wheels program, which is dedicated to delivering nutritious meals to thousands of seniors daily.
And we want to hear from you. Give us a call or send us a text at 713-440-8870 or email us at talk@hellohouston.org. Don't forget, you can watch us live on YouTube by going to houstonpublicmedia.org.
Hello Houston is made possible in part by founding sponsors John Bradshaw and Kathy Sanders, and by gifts from listeners like you.
Live from NPR News, I'm Lakshmi Singh. President Trump convened his cabinet today and said his first year back in office has been a success. He says the economy is doing well, even as the recent general elections amplified affordability concerns among voters who decided to back Democrats over Republicans in key races.
They just say the word. It doesn't mean anything to anybody. Just say it. Affordability. I inherited the worst inflation in history. There was no affordability. Nobody could afford anything.
The Bureau of Labor Statistics shows the inflation rate during the Biden administration peaked at 9.1% in June of 2022, the worst since the late 1970s, early 80s. By the time Joe Biden left office in January and Trump took over, the rate was down to 3%. An NPR investigation finds companies are charging veterans millions for help with VA disability claims. NPR's Quill Lawrence reports that's even after the VA has warned that it's probably illegal.
Filing a new claim for disability with the Department of Veterans Affairs can be complicated, and some veterans turn to for-profit companies to help. But it's illegal to charge veterans to file an initial claim. The loophole is that Congress removed the criminal penalties for breaking that law 20 years ago. Since then, an entire industry has grown, sometimes charging vets tens of thousands of dollars from their newly awarded benefits. An NPR investigation spoke with dozens of veterans who've used claims companies. While some vets said the service was worth it, many described charges for work they had to do themselves and being hounded by companies to pay up. Two competing bills in Congress aim to fix the loophole, but neither is expected to pass soon. Quill Lawrence, NPR News.
The nation's public health agency has lost a quarter to a third of its staff this year. The Trump administration is downsizing government agencies. NPR's Ping Wang reports that the cuts have left gaps in function at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Programs aimed at preventing cavities, car crashes, drownings, and shootings have halted. Workers who respond to nuclear emergencies or to virus outbreaks that can cause birth defects are gone. Dr. Dimitri Daskalakis, a former CDC official who resigned in August, says the agency is in critical condition.
I keep calling CDC like a zombie because it's a zombie.
CDC employees who remain are appalled by statements on measles, vaccines, and autism, which don't reflect the agency's scientific conclusions but have shown up on the website anyway. A spokesman for the Department of Health and Human Services says the changes are part of sustained reforms focused on returning CDC to its core mission. Ping Huang, NPR News.
U.S. stocks are trading higher this hour. The Dow is up 120 points. From Washington, this is NPR News.
Live from News 88.7 in Houston, I'm Alexandra Hart. Mayor John Whitmire could lose the endorsement of the party he's been affiliated with for more than 50 years. The Harris County Democratic Party will vote later this month to withhold his endorsement because Whitmire attended a fundraiser for Republican Congressman Dan Crenshaw. News 88.7's Dominic Anthony Walsh has more.
Nearly 100 precinct chairs are signed on to the resolution, which already passed 2 committees by wide margins. They argue Whitmire crossed a line from working across the aisle to actively supporting the GOP. Carisha Rogers is co-chair of the Houston Progressive Caucus.
You can work with the Republicans to get policies done, but you should never be working directly for their cause by going to their fundraisers.
Up to 600 precinct chairs will vote on the resolution on December 14th. They previously voted down a related rule change that would prohibit Democratic candidates from fundraising for Republicans, though the progressives plan to reintroduce that measure. I'm Dominic Anthony Walsh, News 88.7.
Harris County is offering debris pickup and drop-off services for residents impacted by last week's tornadoes. Debris pickup services began yesterday in affected neighborhoods. Debris can include construction materials, damaged home appliances, and electronics. Otherwise, debris can be dropped off all week at Deputy Darren Goforth Park in Cypress or Kissing Tree Park in Spring. Harris County Commissioner Tom Ramsey represents the area and has led the recovery process.
Essentially, there were 217 damaged structures. 13 of those were major, and it covered a pretty broad area.
Ramsey says recovery crews were able to hit the ground running within an hour after the tornado hit. The Gulf Coast Transit District is partnering with Galveston Island Transit to launch a new bus route connecting Galveston to the mainland. The route will run between Texas City and the Strand Street in Galveston. Service for the new route began yesterday. It will run through Monday through Saturday, from 6 in the morning to 8 in the evening. A one-way ticket costs $1 or 50 cents for seniors over 65, people with disabilities, and students. I'm Alexandra Hart, News 88.7.
Support for NPR comes from NPR stations. Other contributors include BetterHelp, committed to supporting mental health through therapy. Clients are matched with one of 30,000 therapists and can communicate via video, chat, or phone at betterhelp.com/public.
Live from Houston Public Media and News 88.7, it's Hello Houston, an open forum on today's biggest stories affecting Houston and beyond. Call now, 713-440-8870, or let us know your thoughts on today's topics by emailing us at talk@hellohouston.org. And now, Hello Houston with Ernie Manous, Celeste Diaz-Sherman, and Frank Billingsley.
Welcome to the second hour of Hello Houston.
If you heard me grunt, that was my childish behavior because I was trying to get a piece of paper. And have you noticed, like, as I've gotten older, I make noises that I don't need to make, but I think I should. Like, when I sit down, I go, ugh.
My New Year's resolution is to not grunt.
Right, to stop
because I get up out of a chair, out of the car,
and we don't need to. We just do it because...
And I don't know why it feels so good.
It does feel good to grunt.
So that's why you heard me grunt. I was reaching for a
it
piece
is
of
a
paper.
telltale you're old.
Apologize.
So... Young people are not grunters. Old people are the grunters.
And that's why you tune into this show every day, for the wisdom we impart on you and the openness and honesty we share our lives with you every day. And we enjoy that you share yours with us, too. You know, you can always call us 713-440-8870. You can email us at talk@hellohouston.org, or you can join us over on YouTube. Our YouTubers, we got to find a good name. Folks in YouTube, come up with a name for your group. Who are you? The Helloies? I don't know.
The Hellsters?
You come up with it. You're on there. So if you want to join that group, just go to YouTube, or you can join through going to HoustonPublicMedia.org. Find that little link. And then in the chat group, there's always a whole lot going on.
You can be the Franksters. I'd be okay with that.
I was going to say,
the Ernsters.
When we started the show, I think we were trying to figure out our role as 3 hosts and things. And we thought there was going to be like Team Frank or Team Ernie or teams, and that hasn't happened. I feel like we
it all
really
became
are...
Team Ernie. They just didn't tell you.
Oh, right.
It's been kept a secret.
I thought it was Frank and Friends.
Frank and
they've all got their angles.
Never said anything.
The Celestials.
The Celestials.
Anyway, I don't even know what we're doing at this
The
point.
Hello Houstonians.
The Hello Houstonians.
I
yeah,
like
that's
it.
cute, Toxic. The pranksters.
Well, you like Chicagoland. You've been pushing for Houstonland.
I've been trying for Houstonland
Maybe
for
this could be
20
Houstonland.
years.
This could be YouTube. This could be Houstonland.
Now, Houstonland has to be the entire region because it was Chicagoland.
So far, this is all we've got.
Anyway, you know what we do have? We have a full another hour for you. We're going to be talking with Meals on Wheels. We're going to be talking about bail reform and what's happening with Prop 3. And we're also going to be talking about the headlines of the day. But the thing to keep in mind is it is Giving Tuesday. And if you are so moved and are a listener, a regular listener to the show, please make a moment right now to make that donation. Just go to HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate.
Cold this morning.
We just got one YouTube person, but I'm not going to read it. But it is.
If you abbreviate hello by removing the O and you stop Houston after the first O, you get the hell hose.
Frank's Little Monsters. That sounds very Lady Gaga.
Little Monsters. I like.
You kind of like the hell hose?
You know, Frank, this morning my mother-in-law was telling me that you were quoted last night on KPRC.
Was I?
That the meteorologist said, you know, Frank Billingsley, I'm going to quote Frank Billingsley, last night would have been a 3-dog night.
Yes. That's where it's so cold you have all 3 dogs sleep with you.
Yeah.
Keep you warm.
You were
That's
quoted.
a 3-dog night.
It was so cold last night, my cats didn't sleep with me. They went somewhere else. I don't know where they were, but they were warm this morning. So
yeah, you know, I start out cold, but I do warm up overnight. I guess my body temperature comes to the forefront.
Here comes Celeste. She's got a big smile on her face. I want to hear this one.
This might be surprising, but I actually run really hot. So I am always...
In all ways possible.
I get that. So,
all right. How is the weather out there?
I was going to say, it's warming up to the 50s today, and we have a little warming trend. Next big rain chance is Thursday. And then it looks like it clears for the weekend. So there's the rundown.
Okay, Saturday night, we're lighting the Christmas tree in front of City Hall, outdoors.
You're the star.
Well, no, I think the mayor and I think Brian McKnight are the stars.
And the
I'm
tree.
simply moving things along.
And the tree. And Jesus' birthday. Those are the stars.
Is it rainy? Is it cold? What is it on Saturday night?
It's clear and cool.
What's cool?
Like a light sweater.
You tell me what's cool.
Well, you're cool, Frank. So, we'll find out more as we get closer there. Frank's looking
I've got partly cloudy and 48.
Oh, that's good weather.
But the high will be 60, so it'll be in the 50s. It'll be sweater weather pleasant to light your tree.
Okay, it's called Deck the Halls. It's out in front of City Hall Saturday night. Come out there. Join the fun and festivities. I think they're going to have a little marketplace there, things for the kids, the lighting of the tree, and Brian McKnight is going to perform a concert.
Oh, good.
us.
He's great.
Houstubers. Colby from Katie.
The Houstubers.
Yep.
The Houstubers.
Houstubers. I actually like that. Celestial Caravan.
I like that.
Jump
I'm
on.
not seeing an Ernie name be used in anything there. I'm just
Ernie's a tough
putting
one.
it out there.
Hashtag Team Frankstone. The
See, yeah.
Hellstonians. Space City Squad. I like this.
Anyway.
Keep 'em
I
coming.
love that there's not a Ernie one on there.
I know you do.
Okay, speaking of the city, Houston Mayor John Whitmire could lose the endorsement of the party he's been affiliated with for more than 5 decades if Harris County Democratic Party precinct chairs approve an admonishment resolution on December 14th. The resolution has been in the works for the better part of 2025 after Whitmire attended a fundraiser for Republican Congressman Dan Crenshaw. Pointing to that fundraiser, the resolution, quote, condemns the political behavior of John Whitmire and finds that his conduct undermines the values and mission of the Democratic Party, warranting denial of endorsement in all future elections effective immediately. End quote. Working across the aisle, that's not what happened here, said Coach Cam Campbell, who spearheaded the resolution. This was him lending his social currency, his access, his privilege to fundraise for a Republican. The resolution, which bears the signatures of 99 precinct chairs, passed the party's steering committee last week and will be considered by up to 600 precinct chairs at a meeting on December 14th. What are your thoughts? Should Mayor Whitmire lose the endorsement, or is this an overreaction, an overreach? Give us a call or send us a text, 713-440-8870.
I'm kind of falling into overreaction.
I think it's an overreach. I think John Whitmire is a strong Democrat. He's a good mayor. And what proof does this guy have, Coach Cam? What does he have that proves that this was lending his social currency access privilege to fundraise for a Republican? He did go to Dan Crenshaw's fundraiser. I heard on pretty good authority that Dan Crenshaw strong-armed him a little bit and said, hey, you need my help getting funds for Houston from the federal government that Trump is in charge of. And as a Republican, I can help you. But, you need to come and be a part of my fundraiser. And in the interest of being more Houston forward than worrying about political affiliation, he went. That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true.
Yes, it was publicized he would be there. He was listed as a, quote, special guest, so effectively headlining the event as a prominent local official.
Why would Dan want him there?
I don't know. We should call Dan Crenshaw's office, find out why he wanted the mayor there. Maybe for the sense of endorsement. So maybe it falls right into what they are concerned with, that by having him there, he was swaying the positioning of the city to a more, as we've heard from our governor, wants to make us Harris County deep red. And this may have been one piece in that puzzle.
But has he gone to any Democrat fundraisers?
I don't have that answer for you.
Well, I think that'd be a viable question. Because if he's the mayor of Houston, regardless of party, has always been kind of for Houston and not really.
We have a nonpartisan mayor. Theoretically, we do not have party races for our city officials.
So if he wants to go to Dan Crenshaw, or he wants to go to Joe Jaworski, or he wants to go to Wesley Hunt, I don't understand why that's an issue. He's the mayor. And how much did he give? It was a fundraiser. That doesn't mean he gave a dime.
It doesn't matter about the money. It's the
perception.
Yeah. The influence by his presence and the giving, what's the word I'm looking for? Endorsement of, I stand with this man. Now, in an ideal world, you would want your politicians to all get along. I've said this a million times on the show. In the olden days, once somebody was elected to office, we stopped saying what party they were. We just said they were the governor, they were the mayor. Now it's Republican congressman or Democratic congressman. It used to be once you got elected, you represented all of your people. Your party was what moved you forward. Today, we've gotten so partisan that it's bothersome. But the mayor could meet with Dan Crenshaw however he wants. Going to an event, having your name listed as a special guest, the perception of it does carry weight in today's day and age. We are such a community made up of image and social media posts and all that. What does it say when you're there? One more thing, then I'll stop talking. Any of the three of us, when we take pictures with candidates, we step away from that. We don't want our picture taken with a candidate because it's a de facto endorsement. Not that we just didn't meet them. They were a pleasant person. They want to take a picture. You want to take a picture with them. That's all fine, but it changes when you're in the public eye. You know that better than most of us,
I used to
Frank.
take pictures with Sheila Jackson Lee.
Yes. It was a different time, and she was sitting in office. But if she were campaigning, and then she used that as a de facto endorsement
campaigning versus sitting in office.
Yes.
And again,
okay, I'll buy that. But
I promised
you know what?
I'd stop talking.
But look, for instance, John Whitmire supported the gay flag crosswalks. He did not want them to be destroyed. But at the same time, he is smart enough to know that the governor is in charge of a lot of money that comes to Houston, as is the federal government. And I think John Whitmire's interests, first and foremost, above party, are for Houston.
I agree.
He wants Houston to thrive, and he knows it takes money for that to happen. And if that means going to Dan Crenshaw's fundraiser to get on his good side so that we can get federal money, I think he should do it.
Again, 713-440-8870. We want to hear your thoughts. Should Whitmire lose the endorsement, or is this an overreaction? Kenneth from the South Side is on the line. Kenneth, welcome to Hello Houston.
Thank you. I'd like to make 2 points. And one, it was another city council lady brung it up. She gave him the comparison of Chamberlain, of the Prime Minister of Britain prior to Churchill, of him not wanting to do anything to make someone mad, in semblance to like Chamberlain didn't want to make Hitler mad. Therefore, the semblance is made is that our mayor don't want to make anybody mad in the State House of Washington. So he did say, I don't want to go against this, because we don't want to lose funding. that's on the level, because it was putting the semblance as though Chamberlain didn't want to make Hitler mad to keep bombs from falling on Britain. But I wanted to point out something, and this had really got to me, is his war on the homeless that he waged. And I say war is because he's doing this in just about the same way that this thug in Washington went after the homeless on the street there in D.C. I understand, but see, what people got to understand, there's an underlying factor behind this. We have a World Cup coming here, and anybody been in this city know that we make large moves toward the different things on our streets when we have something coming here, and there are some tangible facts related to this here, and his motive for this war on the homeless, because right now, I call it a war because we don't have any answers other than elimination, than doing away with it. And I'm gonna wrap it up real quick. Is that you can't cure homelessness.
Yeah.
You can make a priority of the homeless juveniles, the homeless families, and the battered women on the street, and then you separate that from the able-bodied men, and then you equate employment into that. And I'm not hearing anything about enabling people other than enable them in a way that does not fix the problem. And thank you for the time.
Kenneth, thank you very much for calling. I think he also brings up in what he was saying there the point of view, if Whitmire wasn't currently being looked at as more conservative than we thought he would be. There's a lot of talk. Is he a Democrat just in name alone? Is he a secret Republican? There was already that kind of, his policies tended to be more conservative than liberal in a lot of areas. And if that chatter wasn't going on, maybe this thing wouldn't have amounted to what it was. That it gave an opportunity to go after him and say, we're mad at you because you are not feeling fully Democrat. You're feeling too centrist.
I bet the mayor could give a 1-minute explanation as to why he was there.
And again, 713-440-8870. Let's go to Kelly from Bryan. Kelly, welcome to Hello Houston.
Hey, how are you? I agree with both sides, but I think that if we keep moving forward in such a divisive way and trying to separate each other, we're not going to move forward in a democratic way and be able to work together. So if we keep politicizing red, blue, whatever, we're never going to come back together as a country.
Good point.
Kelly, thank you for that. And yes, we need to keep moving forward, and we've got to stop this harsh partisan divide. But that also takes that each side has to lower their rhetoric a little bit, I think. I think to make that work, we all have to be in it. It can't just be one side saying, yes, let's all get along, and the other side running to the extreme.
And let's keep in mind, this was a fundraiser of Dan Crenshaw. It wasn't a rally. It was a private... I wasn't invited. Were you invited? I wasn't invited.
I don't get invited to fundraisers.
I do. I have to
invited.
turn them down. Thank God I'm on media. I can say, nope, sorry. I can't give you money. But it seemed very private. And, I think that makes a difference.
It was at the home of construction industry figures were there to privately raise funds for Congressman Dan Crenshaw.
Well, there you go.
Coming up on Hello Houston, we'll take a closer look at how Proposition 3 may shape jail populations across the state with Krish Gundu, the co-founder and executive director of the Texas Jail Project. This is News 88.7.
Everyone is invited to this fundraiser, Giving Tuesday. Your donation to Houston Public Media right now supports stories like the ones you just heard and also shared voices from all across our community. This is one place where all are welcome, and your gift is welcome as well. It's one of the most tangible ways that you can help your community, and now is the time to give.
Your gift will mean more trusted news in 2026. And a great reason to give right now is that there's $25,000 on the line. We need 50 more gifts to get us there. It's all up to you.
And we are starting off the hour in an amazing way. Thank you to Christopher from Fulshire, Brandon from Houston, Sarah from Houston, Christina from Baytown, Mary from Houston, and Dennis from Sugarland. Give now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
Now remember, the size of the gift doesn't matter. What does matter right now is that you make a donation to get us closer to unlocking that $25,000. Give now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
What's important to you? Trustworthy, independent journalism? That's what you get every day at Houston Public Media. Step forward right now because you're being called to make a difference in Greater Houston and for this station. So please give now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call us 888-909-0887.
The people in our newsroom are from Greater Houston. They live here and they know the city. Their goal every day is to dig deep into what you need to hear about. Your support powers every interview, every fact check, every headline. Give now to houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
Our newsroom is here for one reason. You. When breaking news hits, when storms threaten our city, when decisions at City Hall impact your neighborhood, our newsroom is already working and researching.
Because serving this community and bringing you the truth is what we do for who? For you. Support the newsroom built for Greater Houston. Give now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
Let's get an update. We're now only 50 gifts away from unlocking $25,000 for Houston Public Media. That's funding that will go straight into supporting local programs and local conversations that you rely on.
This newsroom doesn't just report on Greater Houston. They live in this city just like you. They show up during hurricanes and during floods, during breaking news, because you rely on them for vital information. So right now, make that gift at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
Hi, I'm Michael Schaefer. My partner Ellen and I have been proud supporters of public radio and TV for decades.
We really would be lost without our daily fix of unbiased national and local news, cultural programming, and great entertainment.
But with recent federal defunding, stations like Houston Public Media face real challenges.
Now's the time to step up.
Give now at houstonpublicmedia.org.
Thank you.
12 days. You got to look yourself in the mirror and say, holy, what are you kidding me?
A car dealership in Long Island tries to sell its monthly quota of cars, 129 cars. It's not going well.
I want balloons in the showroom. I just don't want one balloon to a car. Balloon the whole freaking place so it looks like a circus.
Will it work? Find out this week.
This is American Life. It's Wednesday night at 9 p.m.
I'm Jeremy Hobson. Next time on The Middle, the stock market may be near record levels, but unemployment is ticking up, interest rates remain high, and President Trump's tariffs have made consumer goods more expensive. Add to that the recently ended government shutdown and uncertainty about healthcare. We want to know about the state of your economy. That's next time on The Middle.
It's on Thursday night at 8 p.m.
And now back to Hello Houston. To comment on any of today's topics, call 713-440-8870 or email us at talk@hellohouston.org. Now back to Ernie Manous, Celeste Diaz-Sherman, and Frank Billingsley.
Questions are mounting about what new bail restrictions could mean for local jails after the passage of Proposition 3 last month. Supporters say the amendment will keep communities safer by requiring judges to deny bail in more felony cases. But critics warn it may deepen overcrowding and further entangle people who are struggling with mental health issues in the criminal justice system. Today, we're taking a closer look at how Proposition 3 may shape jail populations across the state with Krish Gundu, co-founder and executive director of the Texas Jail Project. Krish, welcome to Hello Houston.
Hi, thank you for having me.
And if you would like to join the conversation, you can give us a call or send us a text, 713-440-8870. What's interesting to me about Proposition 3 is that Texans overwhelmingly voted for this amendment to the state constitution, almost by 61%. So can you tell us what essentially the concern is, or maybe perhaps people didn't fully understand the proposition?
Yeah, and you said that in the introduction. You said it requires judges to deny bail, and I think that's where the confusion lies. A lot of people assumed, and it's not their fault. This is how it was sold to the public. It was sold to the public as a tool that judges will have to automatically deny bail on certain charges. But if you really read SJR 5, which is the constitutional amendment that was passed, which was Prop 3, it doesn't actually say that they're required to deny bail. It doesn't say that anywhere. What it says is that they may deny bail if the prosecutor, and then it lists out a whole bunch of things that the prosecutor has to do to show clear and convincing and preponderance of evidence, all these things that the prosecutor has to show in order for the judges to be able to deny bail. So it doesn't automatically require that judges deny bail. So I think that's where the confusion lies. And it's not with the general public that voted overwhelmingly for it. In conversations with district attorneys and sheriffs and lawyers across the state, because we work statewide on county jail conditions, it's come to light that actually even the district attorneys are confused about it. They're not really sure how this is supposed to be utilized. And in fact, in smaller counties, they're not really worried about it, because what it does is the practice right now in those counties is that magistrates already set very high bond amounts. So they're not really worried, because once those high bond amounts are set, they know that people are not going to be able to get out of jail. And so the prosecutors only have to do all that extra work of showing clear and convincing evidence and preponderance of evidence only if they're asking for a denial of bail. So the prosecutors still have to ask for a denial of bail.
Right.
It doesn't automatically happen under Prop 3.
And it's
so I think there's a big sort of confusion about what it actually does. And one thing I might add is that it's going to have a detrimental impact on the administration of justice, especially in Harris County, because what it does is it just gives magistrates a free pass to set very high bond amounts, because the district attorneys are watching. They've been told by this amendment that they need to watch the magistrates and judges. And then it gives the prosecutors another avenue to upcharge and keep pretrial defendants in jail longer and coerce plea deals. And the reason I say that it should be very concerning for Harris County in specific terms is because just last year alone, 41.7% of aggravated assault cases and 30.7% of aggravated robbery cases were dismissed. And in 2022, judges threw out over 2,400 felony cases for lack of probable cause. So given that history of how prosecutors work, we are very sure that what this is going to lead to is a sharp increase in jail population and many more people held pretrial, people who will probably be coerced into plea deals.
So, Krish, I just wanted to go back really quickly to clarify. Judges already had the authority to deny bail for violent and repeat offenders before Proposition 3. So if that was a selling point, judges could already do that.
You're absolutely right. And I think this was, public safety is always politicized. I've been watching this bail reform conversation for, 4 legislative sessions now. And to me, it always seems like a distraction. It's a distraction from the real issue at hand. Mm-hmm. And the real issue at hand is a huge crisis in the mental health space. We have a public health crisis, which is why our county jail system is the largest warehouse of people with serious mental illness in the state of Texas. And we can talk about that a bit more later. I know you wanted to talk about that. But the reason I bring that up is that the state does not want to address that issue, or it does not. I guess there's no political will to address the issue of building a community-based mental health care system, to build a continuum of care in the community. And so it's very easy to politicize and say, well, for public safety, it's just better to detain people and to detain people longer and to take away pretrial liberty, because that just sort of plays well politically, I think, when you talk about public safety. And so the way this was sold to the public, like you said, judges already had that tool, and we were being told that this is going to give the judges an extra tool. But really, the prosecutors were supposed to be doing their jobs in all those high-profile cases that were used to sell us Proposition 3. The prosecutors did not do their jobs. They were supposed to come up with that motion and provide that extra evidence and do that sort of robust work that needs to be done to take away somebody's pretrial liberty. And so the judges did not have a choice but to release those defendants.
So, Krish,
right? But now they're saying this is going to give judges an extra tool, but it really doesn't do that.
So let me jump in here and just ask you, and maybe I've lost it in here somewhere, but if the judges, as Celeste said, had this right before, and then we passed Prop 3, which basically gives them the same right they already had, what is the concern about this proposition and this statute? What changes if it's just reaffirming something judges already could do?
Because now it gives the magistrates a free pass to set even higher bail amounts.
How? How do you get from A to B?
So nobody wants to have a DA come back and say, I want you to deny bail because the bail amounts are already set very high. So this just sort of gives them an extra free pass to set really high bail amounts. And it gives prosecutors actually even more leeway not to do the work that they were supposed to be doing. Like I said, I mean, I thought this was the whole thing, watching this whole debate during the session. It felt like smoke and mirrors. It really felt like smoke and mirrors. Because at the end of the day, if you are still able to set really high bonds, what that does is that it opens up, it incentivizes things for the bail bond industry, which lost a huge amount of money in Harris County when we passed misdemeanor bail reform. And remember, all these so-called, quote unquote, bail reform measures that have come out of the legislature have mostly been pointed at Harris County because people are upset that we had really good misdemeanor bail reform. And because of that, the bail bond industry lost tons of money.
So do we still have that misdemeanor bail reform that we had?
That's in effect, yes.
So, and we still have felony bail the same way it was before. So
yes,
I'm kind of lost in this.
It is supposed to be confusing. And so to make matters actually more confusing, there is another bill that was passed, and that's Senate Bill 9. And under Senate Bill 9, there is a same list of offenses that you've seen as JR 5. And Senate Bill 9, when it passed, just for that section, there was no implementation date, because they were waiting to see if the constitutional amendment would pass. And so now that Prop 3 has passed, under Senate Bill 9, there is, under Chapter 54, there is a provision for automatically denying bail for repeat offenders. But again, the language is not that you shall deny bail. The language is you may deny bail. So again, it's permissive.
So it seems like
it's may.
It seems like it encourages judges to deny bail.
The Senate Bill 9, for violent repeat offenders, there is that provision in Senate Bill 9, not in Prop 3.
So let's get to where you were talking about mental health. How does this affect those who have, I guess, committed a crime and have mental issues?
So there's two parts to that, actually. First of all, like I was saying, this is a distraction. All this bail reform stuff is a distraction from addressing the real issue on hand. And, there's this sort of famous saying from a policy wonk, and I'm blanking on his name, but it's not what you have to say about the issue, but what the issue says about you. I don't know if you've heard that. But when I hear that the county jail system is the largest warehouse of people with serious mental illness in the state of Texas, what that tells me is that as a society, we are very comfortable with punitive solutions to public health issues. That's what we have become. We've become a society that is very comfortable with punitive solutions to public health issues, which is why we're very comfortable with the idea that Harris County Jail is the largest warehouse. And I refuse to call it a provider, because a jail is not a therapeutic setting for any sort of mental health care. We're just a warehouse for the largest psychiatric population in the state of Texas. In fact, the top 3 out of the top 5 are county jails. So what we see in our work every day is, when you talk about people cycling through quote unquote violent repeat offenders, what we see a lot in our work, because 80% of our work is people with serious mental illness and disabilities, is that people are not receiving the appropriate level of care in the mental health system. And so they keep getting criminalized for the symptoms of their mental illness. And they keep cycling through both the mental health and the county jail system over and over and over again.
So tie this then back to bail reform then. Is it, what's your position on bail reform when it comes to treating mentally ill?
I think calling it bail, so when the first bail reform bill passed, Senate Bill 6 3 sessions ago, it actually took away the ability for people to get mental health PR bonds. So we have what are called 17.032 and 17.033 mental health PR bonds, which used to help people get diverted from the system. But because of Senate Bill 6, many of those people charged with those kind of charges were not able to be diverted from the system. And so this any sort of quote unquote bail reform always disproportionately impacts this population, because this is your largest population in county jails. So that's the one thing that it automatically impacts a disproportionate number of that population. But once they're in jail, there is clearly no mental health care. They decompensate, and when they are released, there is no continuity of care. Why? Because Texas has really not built out a continuum of community-based mental health care system. We don't have enough crisis respite. We don't have enough crisis stabilization. We don't have campus settings like intermediate care facilities with secure options. The only secure options for people who can't function in the community today, right now, is a jail. There are no secure options, right? So that's why we keep seeing these people cycling in and out of jails over and over again. So right now, there's roughly 76,000 people across the state and across 244 county jails that are being held in county jails. And about 76% of the population is pretrial, legally innocent. So anything that's going to increase the jail population is going to directly translate to dangerous conditions of confinement for both prisoners and staff. And now when you think about prisoners that are largely people with serious mental illness, what that does is that it impacts their medical care. So I don't know if you've seen the numbers, but the latest custody death numbers in Texas jails, just the county jails this year, as of yesterday, is 136. We had 136 reported custody deaths in our jails. And a large majority of them are pre-trial. I want to tell you a real quick story about a young man that died in our jail this year. His name is Christopher McGregor. He used to play football for U of H. He was 39 years old. He cycled for 10 years between the public mental health and the jail system. He had severe schizophrenia. Over and over, his mother tried to get him. She tried every single thing that she could find to get him help. But he was never given the appropriate level of medical care, mental health care that he needed. This year, when he was arrested on a criminal trespass in our jail, he died after a few weeks because he could not advocate for his own needs. And when the autopsy report came back, we found out that he had died from a strep throat infection, which is easily treatable. It's an easily treatable infection. And the other point was that not only was it a strep throat infection, he actually starved to death. And so that's what happens to people with serious mental illness in the jails. This is not an isolated example. I'm just telling you this particular story because it happened this year and it happened in this county, but we hear stories like this across the state every single day. And that's the ultimate impact on people with serious mental illness who are criminalized for their behaviors and held pre-trial in county jails.
Krish Gundu is the co-founder and executive director of the Texas Jail Project. Krish, thank you so much for joining us today on Hello Houston.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Coming up, we're going to speak to some people that help run Houston's Meals on Wheels program. Stay with us as Hello Houston continues.
Okay, we don't have much time, and I need to tell you this. It's Giving Tuesday. Right now, your gift supports all our local shows, like Houston Matters with Craig Cohen, or Hello Houston with Celeste Frank and me, Ernie.
And a great reason to give right now is that you can get us closer to $25,000. We need 45 more gifts for the hour to get us there. It's all up to you.
You know, you tune to Houston Public Media when you need information, but it's only possible because you stand up and support this station. So make your donation now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
Today is Giving Tuesday. It's a day of generosity, and it was created for moments like this. Give at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call us 888-909-0887.
And right now, your kindness and generosity will reach further into the community. Please donate right now in honor of Giving Tuesday. Just go to houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
Give now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887. You can get us over the finish line.
Be part of the effort to push us forward. Visit houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call, as Frank and Celeste just told you, 888-909-0887.
We need 45 people to make this happen. We need you to help unlock $25,000 for Houston Public Media.
Remember, this isn't a done deal. We aren't going to just get the money for the news you need if we don't meet the challenge that we're asking you to help us meet. Join in now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
And we want to take a moment to thank those who have already donated. Thank you to Emily from Spring and Nina from Deer Park. Your support means the world to us here at Houston Public Media. We wouldn't be able to do what we do every day without your support. So join Emily and Nina and make your gift at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate.
You know, some members give monthly, others give just a one-time gift, but they all help fuel Houston Public Media. Your gift in any amount supports the programs and local reporting that keep you informed and connected.
Yeah, it's not about how much you give. It's that you choose to support the station you rely on and keep it going strong into the future. Choose an amount that works for you and make your gift right now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
Thousands of people across Greater Houston already give monthly to Houston Public Media, most at just $5 or $10 a month. That community of support helps cover our essential costs, which include local journalism, trusted news programs, and so much more. Give right now, 888-909-0887.
All those loyalty points you're racking up at the grocery.
It's not just your car. It's the one that brought your kids home from school, took you cross-country, held memories, laughter, even a few breakdowns. When it's time to let go, give your car a new purpose. Donate it and turn memories into meaningful support for this station. Plus, you'll enjoy free and easy pickup, potential tax benefits, and a simple donation process. Your gift supports the programs you and your family love. Donate today and help keep public media strong. Call or donate online.
Last fall, and some local businesses are just now returning to normal.
In comparison to what I've been through in the last year, things are just going really well, and I'm just so grateful to be back, to be in this space.
I'm Kai Rizdal, One Business, 1 year on. Next time on Marketplace.
Listen to Marketplace tonight at 6:30 on News 88.7.
In a 1-mile stretch of Houston, a Hindu temple, Vietnamese Buddhist center, a church, and a mosque all call each other neighbor.
That's what the United States is. You know, we're a melting pot of a whole lot of different nationalities, of different religions, etc. And I think that this is just a microcosm of that.
I'm Mary Louise Kelly. How the Union Corridor presents a snapshot of interfaith harmony in Texas on All Things Considered from NPR News.
It's on today at 3 o'clock.
I'm Jesse Thorne. You want some real, insightful conversations about where art comes from? Well, Bullseye has you covered, as long as you don't mind a little bit of ridiculousness.
Y'all was like really judging me though.
They sniffed it out. They sniffed out that I was weird.
I was like, I don't know where I'm gonna sit, just like in the movies.
Listen, learn, laugh. Bullseye from Maximum Fun and NPR.
Bullseye, Thursdays at 9 p.m. on News 88.7.
And now back to Hello Houston. To comment on any of today's topics, call 713-440-8870 or email us at talk@hellohouston.org. Now back to Ernie Manous, Celeste Diaz-Sherman, and Frank Billingsley.
All right, it's Giving Tuesday, but it's the giving season. And as we enter the holidays, it's important to remember that this is a time of giving and spreading goodwill to everyone. Much like I Am Houston's programs, Meals on Wheels, and Meals Also, right? Yep. I Am used to be called Interfaith Ministries for Greater Houston. Now it's I Am Houston. It's dedicated to delivering nutritious meals and social support to thousands of homebound seniors every day. To tell us more about the programs and their efforts, we're joined now by Ali Al-Sudani, Chief Program Officer for I Am Houston. Welcome to Hello Houston.
Thank you.
So first the name change from Interfaith Ministries to I Am. Explain that to me.
Well, so last year we engaged our board and volunteers and the leadership of Interfaith Ministries decided that we need to rebrand ourselves to come up with a new image, a new name that will be more inclusive to different community members. And that's why we engage a consulting firm to help us with this decision. And it's I Am, it's a reflection of me. I am this, I am Houston, I am helping, I am lending hand. And that's why we came up with this rebranding of our name. We are still doing business as Interfaith Ministries for Greater Houston. We are Houston's oldest interfaith organization. We are proud of our history, but I think in any enterprise, in any company, nonprofit, you need to take a step back and look at the clients you serve and your constituent and see what you can adjust or modify to be more inclusive.
Yeah. One of the biggest programs probably most people know about you is the Meals on Wheels program, and you serve, if the numbers are right, 1 million meals annually to thousands of homebound seniors and folks with disabilities. I'm curious, outside of just, of course, the financial concerns, what are the biggest challenges that face a program that has grown this large in such a diverse and massive city that we face?
Well, so Ernie, I can tell you this, like roughly between 25,000 to 30,000 individuals are turning 60 every year in Harris County, in Houston, Greater Houston area. Now, you look at the number we are serving is 6,000 seniors per year. So it's almost 25% of the total aging population every year that is turning 60 plus. Challenges for this program, and it's a national program, to keep up with the demand. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, we have a waiting list of seniors who are calling us and they are asking for our support. The funding we have is a combination of, it's a public-private partnership. It's government support at 60% with private donation at 40%. The challenge is to keep up with the demand of the home-delivered meals for this population. It's not like you can refer them to a food pantry. These are seniors who are homebound. Mm-hmm. They are lonely, isolated, and they count on our volunteers and our staff to get their daily nutritious meals.
You know, it's interesting that you talk about daily nutritious meals, but it seems like somebody showing up, you mentioned also lonely. I mean, there's also a companion part to this program. Talk to us a little bit about the importance of having a person show up that will never be replaced by AI, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
A person has to actually physically be there with somebody receiving a meal.
Celeste, when you deliver meals to our seniors, usually they are in the most low-income neighborhood in the Greater Houston area. And I experienced it myself several times. When I go and deliver the meals to them, you check on them. Hi, Mrs. Jones. Good morning. This is your lunch. And you start realizing she started to have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
For no reason. Like, so what's going on today? Did you hear about this? Did you hear about that? And I was like, it took me a while to adjust to this reality and situation. The meals that we deliver to them is important. What is actually more important to them is the human interaction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sometimes the driver and the volunteers who are delivering the meals are the only person they have interaction with.
Yeah.
So it's not only the nutritious meals that we deliver to the seniors with respect and care and compassion, but it's the human connection. It's someone knocking on your door to make sure you are okay, to give you a meal, and to make you feel you are cared for. There are still people who cares about you. If you don't have family, it's okay. Houston is a very compassionate and generous city.
Yeah.
We have volunteers and staff who are dedicated to this program, and this social connection is crucially important, or I think it's more important than the nutritious meals.
And it sends a message loud and clear to them. You're seen. You matter. You're seen.
We had the opportunity to go out with you just one time, and I went. And it was eye-opening. When you talk about that, we think of it so often as just bringing a meal to someone. But the engagement, the interaction, I wasn't a familiar face to them. I hadn't shown up every day with a meal. I was there one day. They wanted to talk to you. They needed that connection. And that seemed to so outweigh what we were bringing as the nutrition to them. They were so much more engrossed in having an opportunity to talk to someone, to see someone. And I think all of us, regardless of if you're going out with a program like Meals for Wheels or not, there are people in your community, in your neighborhood, possibly in your own building, who don't have visitors, who don't meet people. And that's something anyone that's listening right now can make an effort to reach out to a senior who doesn't have any kind of contact with the outside world. And there are so many of them in our community. We forget how few people go without seeing another face all day long.
I mean, Arnie, you mentioned it very well. It is really important that for all of our community, check on your neighbor. It is important. We are human beings, so we are social. We need to have this connection and interaction with others. And it's very important that you check on your seniors, check on your neighbors, see what they need, what can you do, and that will mean a lot to them.
How many meals per day in the Houston area are delivered?
Like close to 4,000 meals a day.
4,000
meals a day. Yes.
That is huge.
It is.
So do you separate them, or is like Monday Turkey Day and Tuesday is Beanie Weenie Day? And how do we?
So actually, we have a menu. And the menu, it needs to be approved by a dietitian. You know, when you are dealing with the senior population, you need to make sure that the salt, the sodium, all the healthy stuff that we are not eating right now. But so we have a menu that rotates every week. And on Thanksgiving, we deliver cooked turkey to them to ensure that they are, celebrating the Thanksgiving and other holidays.
I love turkey during Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Well, keep up the good work.
Thank you. Yes.
Congratulations on your new name.
Thank you.
Yes. Ali Al-Sudani is the Chief Program Officer for I Am Houston. Ali, thank you so much for joining us on Hello Houston.
Thank you, Celeste.
And that brings us to the end of our show.
Let's come back tomorrow.
Let's come back tomorrow with more conversations. We want to thank you for watching and listening today to Hello Houston. Tomorrow we're going to be discussing a new study that maps out Houston's mental health deserts. This is News 88.7. Have a
Okay, I'm going to get right at it. Your donation to Houston Public Media right now pays for the stories you're going to need in 2026.
And right now, your gift will also help us get to the 23 gifts that we need to unlock $25,000.
That's right. Make your gift right now, and let's get us closer to closing the gap and being able to get an additional $25,000 for Houston Public Media. This is a perfect way to support reliable news that you rely on every single day. So please give at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or pick up the phone 888-909-0887. I'm Celeste Diaz-Sherman.
And I'm Frank Billingsley. Support the news on Houston Public Media and help this station get $25,000. Make your gift right now. houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call us at 888-909-0887.
And I'm Ernie Manous. We just received another Studio Society gift. That's $1,200.
That's right.
Thank you for taking part in Giving Tuesday. Now, you can also be part of this celebration with your generosity. All gifts matter at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate. Call 888-909-0887.
Thanks for listening to Hello Houston. Join us every Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. to talk all things Houston. The Hello Houston production team includes Garrett Bowman, William Menjivar, Jen Altide, Todd Holslander, and Jim Kovacic. For the latest in local news, subscribe to the Hello Houston daily newsletter at houstonpublicmedia.org. Hello Houston is a production of Houston Public Media. The opinions expressed by the guests of this program are solely their own and do not represent the views of management, staff, or underwriters of Houston Public Media. This is News 88.7.
Morning Edition takes you